There is a woman in Kyoto who wakes up with the lowest cortisol in her neighborhood. She has lived in the same 48 square meter apartment for 9 years. Same futon, same 2 mugs, same soft yellow lamp in the corner that never came from a big box store. Her alarm is not her phone. Her room is dark, cool, and quiet in a way that feels intentional. She has not bought an energy drink, a new candle, or a new set of storage bins in 5 years. Not because she is disciplined, because 4 years ago, without making an announcement about it, she removed 10 specific things from her home, and she never had to find willpower again. Somewhere else right now, someone is waking up to a phone alarm 3 inches from their face. The screen is already bright. There are 14 notifications. The overhead light is a cold white that makes the bedroom feel like an office. There is a plug-in air freshener humming next to a pile of clothes that never got put away, a TV that turned on by itself at 6 a.m., a kitchen counter covered in plastic containers, and a coffee machine that will run before water hits their lips. By 7:15, their cortisol has already spiked twice, and they have not left the house. What if the difference between these 2 mornings has almost nothing to do with genetics or meditation apps, and everything to do with 10 household items that Japanese homes, as a matter of quiet cultural habit, simply threw out? By the end of this video, you will know all 10. And number 4, the one sitting on 93% of nightstands right now, is the one that keeps your cortisol from ever dropping at night, even when you think you slept 8 hours. Stay with me, because the last 3 items are not about things. They are about why your body never feels safe enough to relax at home. Before we go through the 10, there is something worth understanding about why Japanese homes feel different when you walk into them. It is not minimalism. It is not empty. It is a concept called Jiritsu Shinkai, the autonomic nervous system. In Japan, a home is not judged by how it looks. It is judged by what it does to your nervous system. Every object either tells your brain you are safe, you can let go, or it tells your brain there is more to do, stay alert. Cortisol is not a villain. It is supposed to rise in the morning and fall at night, but most modern homes give it 10 reasons to stay up. The first thing Japanese people throw out is the pile. Open your bedroom doorway right now and do not clean it in your mind. Just see it. The chair with the clothes, the open drawers, the stack of mail, the tangled cables, the things that migrated there because they had no place. In America, we call this clutter. In Japanese brain science, we call it Shikaku Noise, visual noise. Princeton Neuroscience Institute found your brain consumes more cognitive resources in a disordered environment than in an ordered one. Every object in your visual field is a small request saying, "Process me." That load promotes cortisol secretion. And UCLA researchers who studied 32 dual-income families and measured salivary cortisol found that mothers who described their home as cluttered or chaotic had higher cortisol across the day, and their cortisol failed to drop at night like it should. Interestingly, fathers in the same house did not show this response. The people who feel responsible for the home carry the stress in their blood. Japanese homes do not fix this with more storage bins. They fix it with a place. One place for each thing. Not a solution, a decision made once. The self-regulating Dr. Kobayashi Hiroyuki teaches that when things overflow, it disrupts the autonomic balance, and the most effective way to restore parasympathetic calm is to create an environment where you do not have to decide. The pile is not a moral failure, it is a cortisol pump. The second thing is the big white light. Look up in your living room. If you have one bright ceiling light that floods the entire room with cold white, you have a light that is telling your sympathetic nervous system to stay on. In Japan, after sunset, you drop the overhead light. Strong light from above stimulates the sympathetic nervous system and blocks relaxation. Your brain misses the timing to rest. Japan uses Akari layered light, a low floor lamp, a paper shade, a small warm bulb at knee height. It creates shadow, what they call in. That shadow tells your body the day is ending. Reddish light has the least effect on melatonin suppression. So at night, they light a candle, not a stadium. Every night under that white LED is a night your cortisol thinks it is still noon. The third thing is the wall of synthetic scent. Walk into your laundry room, open the cabinet. There is the softener that promises alpine breeze, the spray that promises linen fresh for 30 days, the plug-in that promises ocean mist. In Japan, this phenomenon has a name that became a social issue, Kugai, fragrance pollution. A nationwide survey by the Japan Clinical Environmental Medicine Association found over 10% of elementary and junior high students have experienced physical discomfort from artificial fragrance. When people who report fragrance damage are asked about symptoms, headache is 67.4%, nausea 63.9%. The top causes are fabric softener and scented detergent. These are not just smells. They are volatile compounds trapped in microcapsules designed to burst every time you move. Your nose adapts, but your nervous system does not. It stays on low alert, scanning an artificial chemical signal it never evolved to breathe all day. The Japanese alternative is mukuryu, no fragrance. Soap made from soap, sunlight, cedar. If something smells bad, they do not add a scent. They remove the cause, air it, wash it, dry it completely. One decision, no refill. The fourth thing is the phone in the bedroom. This is the one I told you about. The phone charging on your pillow, the phone acting as your alarm, your light, your last scroll. Behavioral economists in Japan now say the ideal is not to bring the smartphone into the bedroom at all, because the screen light sends a signal to the brain that says it is not yet time to sleep, even on night mode. And the moment you wake, if the first thing you touch is a screen with 14 notifications, a flood of information hits your groggy intuition, and exhaustion rushes in all at once. They practice what they call digital sunset. At 9 p.m., devices rest. They charge in the living room on a short cable so it cannot reach the bed. This is called a reverse nudge, making the bad habit hard to access. Every night the phone sleeps with you is a night your brain never gets the full permission to drop cortisol. The fifth thing is the TV that is always on. Not the TV you watch, the TV that watches you. The one that fills silence because silence feels awkward. In many homes, it is on for 6 hours without anyone watching it. In Japanese architecture, there is a concept called ma, the deliberate use of emptiness and pause. Sound is designed, not left over. Homes that use glass tables, large flat TVs, leather sofas, and empty walls with no softness reflect sound and exhaust the brain. A quiet room is not empty. It is safe. When background noise is constant, your auditory cortex never stands down. Your cortisol stays slightly elevated, waiting for the next change in tone, the next commercial that is suddenly louder. Japan turns it off. They let the house be silent enough that you can hear the kettle, The sixth thing is the coffee before water, before food, before light. The machine next to the bed, the mug that says, "Do not talk to me before coffee." In many kitchens, caffeine is the first chemical of the day. When you have been fasting overnight, your body already interprets that as a minor emergency and releases cortisol and adrenaline. Those constrict blood vessels, raise blood pressure and blood sugar. You are already tense. Adding caffeine at that peak does not give you real energy. It gives you fake energy and makes your body forget how to make its own. Japanese mornings start with water, warm water, sometimes with a little salt. Breakfast is rice, miso, something fermented. Coffee comes after the body has already woken up on its own around 10 to 11 a.m. when cortisol naturally dips. Then it actually helps. The caffeine station that lives for that first hit rush is a cortisol amplifier. The seventh thing is the wall of plastic. Open your food cabinet. How many of your containers are plastic, scratched, stained orange, microwaved 100 times? In Japan, this changed early. Bisphenol A, BPA, is known as an endocrine disrupting chemical. Research from Kyoto University showed that when combined with other signals, BPA strengthens retinoic acid signaling and causes abnormalities in brain and nerve formation. A report that tracked microwaving found between 326,000 and 534,000 particles melt out in 5 minutes. At least 1,396 chemicals from food packaging have been detected in the human body. This is not about being perfect. It is about the low-grade stress of eating from something that degrades every time you heat it. Your hormonal system feels it before you name it. Japan uses glass, ceramic, wood, stainless steel, one set, used completely, washed, returned to its place. The Kugai principle again. One good thing replaces 10 disposable ones. The eighth thing is the clocks and the visible to-do. Look around your home. How many clocks can you see from where you sit right now? How many lists, sticky notes, whiteboards that say goals, reminders that say do not forget? Each one is a small time pressure. Cortisol loves time pressure. When you can see time passing in every room, your home becomes a workplace. Japanese homes have one clock, often analog, often silent. The to-do list lives in one notebook, closed. They do not decorate with urgency. The ninth thing is the heavy, hot bedding, the thick polyester comforter that traps heat, the pile of blankets you bought because the room was cold, but now the room is hot. Sleep researchers in Japan find that core body temperature needs to drop to fall into deep sleep. If your bedding traps heat and moisture, you micro-wake all night. Your cortisol never completes its nighttime low. Japan uses light, breathable futons, linen, cotton that release heat. They air them in the sun every week. They keep the bedroom slightly cool, around 19 degrees. The bed is not a nest you sink into and overheat. It is a cool, dry surface that lets your body do what it already knows how to do. And now number 10, the last one, the one underneath all the others. The 10th thing Japanese people throw out is the belief that you need to buy calm. The supplement corner, the 3 different sleep sprays, the 5 different apps for meditation, breathing, focus, the weighted blanket bought before trying a lighter one, the energy drink stacked next to the burnout. You are not paying for the objects. You are paying for the version of yourself who would have used them and felt better. Japanese culture has a phrase, Taru wo shiru, know what is enough. Kaizen, continuous improvement, says make the action so small it needs no special support. Walk first, no membership. Breathe first, no app. Drink water first, no powder. The woman in Kyoto did not buy calm. She removed what was making her unsafe, and calm arrived on its own. Tonight, find one of these 10 in your home. Not all 10. One. Maybe it is the pile by the door. Give it 5 minutes and give everything in it a place. Maybe it is the overhead light. Turn it off and turn on one low, warm lamp at 8 p.m. Maybe it is the phone. Tonight, charge it in the living room with a short cable. Use an old alarm clock. Ask honestly, has this thing been making my body feel safe, or has it been asking my body to stay on guard? If the answer is no, you already know what to do. If the answer is yes, keep it. Use it completely. Honor it until it is finished. That is not a personality type. That is a practice. And it starts tonight.